100 million years ago, Earth was a vastly different and undeniably more perilous realm. It was an epoch long before the advent of humans, predating the great ice ages and existing eons before the familiar world we inhabit today. This was the vibrant, yet brutal, mid-Cretaceous period. An era not solely defined by the iconic dinosaurs we commonly imagine. Instead, it was an age dominated by an array of predators so utterly terrifying. Their fearsome names and legacies were almost entirely lost to the relentless march of time. This was a time when true monsters roamed, or swam, or soared. Creatures whose existence stretched the very limits of our imagination. They weren't just big, they were masters of their environments, evolving specific, often gruesome, adaptations to ensure their survival at the top of an unforgiving food chain. These were the forgotten titans, the silent executioners, whose shadows stretched across a primeval landscape, leaving behind a legacy of fear and unchallenged dominion that we are only now beginning to fully comprehend and uncover. The planet itself was a crucible of life and death, significantly hotter than it is today, fostering lush, sprawling ecosystems. Global sea levels were dramatically higher, causing vast, shallow oceans to inundate much of the landmasses, carving out new coastlines and waterways. This created an intricate tapestry of environments, from humid, dense jungles that stretched for seemingly endless miles, to sprawling, fertile wetlands, each teeming with an abundance of life. Within these diverse and often extreme habitats, life thrived in an almost unrestrained explosion of biodiversity. Yet, every creature, from the smallest insect to the most gargantuan beast, was evolved with one singular, relentless purpose: to hunt, to dominate, and ultimately, to kill. The air hung thick with the scent of damp earth and the primal hum of existence, punctuated by the sudden, brutal realities of the Cretaceous food web, where every rustle could signal impending doom. When our minds conjure images of ancient, colossal predators, the formidable Tyrannosaurus rex often springs instantly to mind. Its sheer power and iconic status have cemented its place in popular culture as the ultimate dinosaur hunter. However, it is crucial to remember a pivotal detail: 100 million years ago, the mighty T-Rex had not yet even begun its reign. Its time at the apex of the food chain was still millions of years in the future. Instead, the world during this specific stretch of the Cretaceous belonged to an entirely different league of forgotten monsters. These were creatures that, in many ways, surpassed even the future tyrant in their sheer ferocity and unique adaptations. They were often faster, equipped with stranger and more specialized killing tools, and frequently more brutal in their methods, each a perfectly honed engine of destruction custom-built for its specific niche in this primeval world. Deep within the labyrinthine swamps and vast river systems of what is now North Africa, an unparalleled leviathan reigned supreme. This was Spinosaurus, a beast whose very name inspires awe, holding the undisputed title of the largest carnivorous dinosaur ever discovered by modern science. Its immense size alone was staggering, dwarfing even the later T-Rex in sheer length, making it a truly formidable presence in its domain. Spinosaurus possessed a distinct, elongated skull, armed with crocodile-like jaws bristling with conical, interlocking teeth, perfectly adapted for snaring slippery prey. Unlike other terrestrial giants, this apex predator was a master of two worlds. It hunted with equal proficiency both on land, stalking through dense vegetation, and, most uniquely, within the water, patrolling the murky depths of ancient rivers and coastal regions, an unrivaled terror in both spheres. The physical adaptations of Spinosaurus clearly marked it as a predator primarily built for an aquatic existence, setting it apart from its purely terrestrial counterparts. Its bones were remarkably dense, a characteristic known as osteosclerosis, providing crucial ballast for submerging and maneuvering efficiently underwater, much like modern-day aquatic mammals. Furthermore, its hind feet were broad and paddle-like, perfectly designed for propelling its massive body through water. This was no ordinary dinosaur, lumbering across dry land. Instead, Spinosaurus was a sleek, formidable hunter of the waterways. It would stalk the slow-moving rivers and estuaries silently, its unique, elongated snout just breaking the surface, waiting. With terrifying speed and an explosive surge, it would strike, snatching giant fish, formidable sharks, or unsuspecting terrestrial prey venturing too close to the water's edge, a true river tyrant. Sharing this same ancient, perilous territory was another colossal carnivore, a true behemoth of the land, Carcharodontosaurus. This formidable predator, whose name chillingly translates to shark-toothed lizard, was a massive land hunter that dominated the terrestrial ecosystems of North Africa. Its presence added another layer of intense competition and danger to an already treacherous environment, ensuring no corner of the landscape was truly safe. The most striking feature of Carcharodontosaurus was its armament of blade-like teeth, distinctively serrated and flattened, much like the formidable teeth of a great white shark. These specialized teeth were not designed for crushing bone, a method employed by some other large predators. Instead, they were perfectly engineered for slicing through flesh with surgical precision, allowing the Carcharodontosaurus to inflict massive, debilitating wounds that would quickly incapacitate even the largest of prey. Imagine, for a moment, the sheer intensity and brutal dynamic of an ecosystem where two such apex predators coexist, each at the absolute pinnacle of its respective food chain. On one hand, Spinosaurus, the undisputed king of the rivers and wetlands. Its massive sail cutting through the humid air as it patrols the murky waters. On the other, Carcharodontosaurus, a terrestrial titan, dominating the sprawling land, its razor teeth ready to tear through any challenger. This profound rivalry and spatial separation of dominance, one ruling the aquatic realm, the other commanding the terrestrial, forged an incredibly harsh and unforgiving environment. Their overlapping territories, though often distinct, meant constant competition for resources and a palpable tension. Survival within this ancient, wild landscape demanded unwavering vigilance and relentless aggression, ensuring that the very fabric of existence was interwoven with a perpetual cycle of violence and survival of the fittest. Thousands of miles away, across what is now a vast ocean, in the open plains of ancient South America, another titanic predator roamed, Giganotosaurus. This colossal carnivore, whose name means a giant southern lizard, was an imposing figure that could possibly have been even larger than the much celebrated Tyrannosaurus rex, though their exact sizes remain a subject of scientific debate. Its sheer scale was enough to command respect and fear across its domain. Unlike some of its solitary contemporaries, Giganotosaurus likely employed a sophisticated and devastating hunting strategy. It hunted in packs. This cooperative approach transformed individual strength into a collective, overwhelmingly deadly weapon. By coordinating their attacks, these massive predators could overcome even the most enormous herbivores, turning a single pursuit into a meticulously executed, multi-pronged assault, significantly increasing their hunting success. The concept of these predators, specifically Giganotosaurus, engaging in pack hunting represents a fascinating and terrifying evolution in predatory behavior. Unlike the lone killers who relied solely on their individual might and cunning, these ancient behemoths may have exhibited a degree of social intelligence, meticulously coordinating their attacks. This teamwork would have allowed them to overcome prey that was otherwise too large or formidable for a single hunter to tackle effectively. For the massive, lumbering herbivores of the Cretaceous plains, a single miscalculated step, a moment of lapsed vigilance, or a slight deviation from the herd's protective formation could spell instant, agonizing doom. When faced with a coordinated assault from a pack of Giganotosaurus, the outcome was almost always tragically predetermined. What began as a hunt would quickly descend into a slow, brutal, and utterly inescapable death, a testament to the devastating power of collective predation. High above the dangerous lands, the skies themselves offered no true sanctuary. Dominating the vast expanse of the Cretaceous atmosphere was Quetzalcoatlus, an awe-inspiring creature that stands as one of the largest flying animals ever to have existed on Earth. Its sheer scale was breathtaking, with a wingspan that could easily rival that of a small modern-day airplane, casting an enormous shadow across the ancient landscape below. This magnificent yet terrifying pterosaur was no mere scavenger. With its incredibly long neck and a sharp, massive beak, Quetzalcoatlus may have actively hunted small dinosaurs and other terrestrial creatures. It is hypothesized to have stalked its prey on the ground like a colossal, predatory stalk, before delivering a fatal blow, transforming it from a creature of aerial grace into a nightmare of airborne predation, an absolute terror descending from above. The mere sight of Quetzalcoatlus, soaring silently on thermals high above, or the sudden, enormous shadow it cast as it glided closer, would have been enough to send smaller creatures scurrying into a desperate, panicked frenzy. Instinct would have screamed danger, recognizing the unparalleled threat posed by such a massive aerial predator. The very air carried a sense of dread, a primal fear of what might descend from the clear blue sky. For any unfortunate creature caught in its hunting grounds, a single, swift strike from Quetzalcoatlus's enormous, spear-like beak could spell an instant end to life. The force and precision behind such an attack would have been devastating, capable of crushing bone or piercing vital organs with frightening ease. In the Cretaceous skies, beauty and terror flew hand in hand, making every aerial encounter a potential encounter with absolute, unyielding death. While land and air harbored unimaginable dangers, the ancient seas of the mid-Cretaceous were perhaps even more terrifying, a realm of profound darkness and relentless predation. These vast, expansive oceans were not tranquil havens but rather sprawling theaters of death, fiercely ruled by a diverse array of colossal marine reptiles. These aquatic giants were perfectly adapted to their watery domain, transforming the deep into a boundless hunting ground. Lurking just beneath the turbulent surface, a true leviathan patrolled the depths, the mighty Mosasaurus. This formidable marine reptile was a predator of epic proportions, easily exceeding the length of a modern-day city bus. Its immense, powerful jaws were a nightmare of biological engineering, armed with multiple rows of curved, razor-sharp teeth, each designed to grip, tear, and hold its struggling prey with unyielding force. Mosasaurus was an absolute master of ambush, a phantom of the deep. It would surge from below with explosive speed, catching its prey entirely off guard. Its preferred method of dispatch was brutal efficiency, swallowing its victims whole, often in a single, massive gulp, demonstrating its overwhelming power and the sheer capacity of its enormous mouth. Depths. No creature, regardless of its own size or ferocity, was truly safe from the Mosasaurus. Even other formidable predators, the sharks and other marine reptiles that dared to cross its path, could become its unwitting next meal. In these ancient oceans, a chilling truth prevailed: everything, from the smallest fish to the most formidable sea monster, was perpetually hunted, living in constant fear of the unseen threat from below. Among the swift terrors of the ancient oceans was Xiphacinus, a creature that embodied raw, aggressive power. This massive predatory fish was a true living torpedo, streamlined for incredible speed and armed with a formidable array of razor-sharp teeth that lined its powerful jaws. It was an opportunistic and relentless hunter, constantly on the prowl for its next meal, a blur of silver and tooth in the primeval waters. Xiphacinus was renowned for its almost suicidal aggression and impressive hunting prowess, capable of devouring prey nearly its own size in a single, audacious attack. There are fossil records grimly illustrating this tendency, showing Xiphacinus specimens with the remains of other large fish lodged in their throats, sometimes even perishing because they had swallowed far too much, a testament to their insatiable hunger and violent lifestyle. The terrifying truth of the mid-Cretaceous period was that there was simply no refuge, no safe haven to be found anywhere. Every single environment, from the dense, sweltering jungles and vast plains of the land, to the boundless, treacherous depths of the sea, and even the expansive, seemingly endless skies above, was firmly under the dominion of specialized, relentless killers. Life was a constant, high-stakes gamble against an array of predators. Survival in such a relentlessly hostile world was an ongoing, brutal struggle, hinging on a delicate balance of inherent traits and primal instincts. It depended intrinsically on the lightning speed of escape, the sheer, brute strength to resist or fight, and perhaps most crucially, a profound, ever-present sense of fear that kept every creature perpetually on edge, constantly aware of the omnipresent danger lurking in every shadow and ripple. These magnificent, monstrous predators were not simply born, they were meticulously forged and honed through millions of years of unrelenting conflict. Their very existence was a testament to evolution through constant warfare, a never-ending arms race where only the most efficient and brutal hunters managed to pass on their genes. Every generation saw improvements, refinements, and deadly innovations that pushed the boundaries of predation. Every razor-sharp tooth, every formidable claw, every finely tuned instinct for the hunt, the chase, and the kill was meticulously shaped and perfected by millions upon millions of years of brutal natural selection. There was no room for error, no second chances. Only those with the most lethal adaptations, the keenest senses, and the most effective killing strategies survived to dominate, becoming the ultimate expressions of prehistoric predatory might. In the mid-Cretaceous, the concept of a natural balance as we understand it, or any semblance of compassion, was utterly alien. This was a world defined by a singular, overarching principle: raw, unyielding dominance. The strongest, the fastest, and the most cunning reigned supreme, holding absolute power over their chosen domains, dictating the very rhythm of life and death across the vast, untamed planet. In this unforgiving epoch, weakness was not merely a disadvantage, it was an instant, and often excruciatingly painful, death sentence. There was no mercy, no second chances, and no quarter given. The natural order was one of immediate, brutal punishment for any perceived vulnerability, ensuring that only the most robust and adaptable individuals survived to propagate their lineage, perpetuating a cycle of relentless, primal brutality. Unlike the universally recognized Tyrannosaurus rex, whose fame transcends scientific circles and permeates popular culture, many of these mid-Cretaceous creatures remain largely unknown to the general public. Their names, though grand and descriptive to paleontologists, often elicit blank stares from those outside the scientific community, leaving their incredible stories untold to a broader audience. Yet, despite their relative obscurity, these forgotten kings of the Cretaceous were every bit as deadly, if not demonstrably more so, than the celebrated T-Rex. Their unique adaptations, specialized hunting techniques, and sheer ferocity placed them at the absolute apex of their respective food chains, proving that true terror comes in many forms, and not all of them achieved the same enduring celebrity in the annals of time. Ultimately, the inexorable passage of time, coupled with cataclysmic mass extinctions and the slow, relentless shifting of Earth's continents, conspired to erase much of the evidence of their glorious reign. Their bones, once the sturdy framework of unstoppable predators, were gradually buried deep underground, entombed within layers of rock and sediment, waiting silently for millennia. The reign of these forgotten titans eventually drew to a close, yielding to new eras and different forms of life. However, their profound legacy of terror, their indelible mark on the planet's history, did not simply vanish into thin air. Instead, it lay dormant, preserved within the geological record, waiting patiently to be painstakingly rediscovered by future generations, to once again inspire awe and fear. The slow, geological processes of continental drift, massive volcanic eruptions, and dramatic climate change continually reshaped the very face of the Earth. These immense forces worked in tandem over countless eons, effectively burying the remnants of these colossal predators deep beneath the surface, transforming their ancient hunting grounds and shrouding their existence in layers of rock and sediment. Their secrets were well guarded. This geological slumber preserved these titans from immediate human discovery, keeping their stories hidden for millennia. Their bones, once vibrant with life, became fossils, silent witnesses to a bygone era. They represent a captivating puzzle, slowly being pieced together by scientists, offering tantalizing glimpses into a world that was once teeming with unimaginable creatures, a testament to the planet's ever-changing dynamic history. 100 million years ago, Earth truly belonged to a pantheon of monsters, creatures whose forms and behaviors stretched the very limits of our wildest imagination. From the depths of the oceans to the highest reaches of the sky, and across vast terrestrial landscapes, these formidable beings reigned supreme, shaping the world through sheer, brutal force and unparalleled predatory prowess. Their dominance was absolute, their power undeniable. Though these primordial giants have long since vanished from the Earth, their profound legacy endures, resonating through the fossil record and archaeological discoveries. It serves as a potent and humbling reminder of a simple, immutable truth: nature, in all its raw, untamed glory, has always been a terrifying, awe-inspiring force, long before the earliest whispers of humanity ever began to echo across the planet. Consider the sheer, awe-inspiring scale of their existence. These creatures didn't just live for a few centuries or millennia. They dominated, adapted, and perfected the art of survival and predation over millions of years. This incredible endurance is a profound testament to their raw, unchecked power and the relentless efficiency of natural selection in the harshest possible terms. Their long reign highlights nature's incredible capacity for creating ultimate survivors. While humans often perceive themselves at the pinnacle of Earth's biological hierarchy, the ancient world of the mid-Cretaceous offers a profoundly humbling perspective. It showcases a planet that did not require human presence to be wildly, spectacularly dangerous, breathtakingly beautiful, and utterly dominated by life forms that were both magnificent and terrifying in equal measure. Our species' reign is but a fleeting moment compared to theirs. This forgotten era of apex predators provides a potent reminder that nature's inherent capacity for ferocity, raw power, and awe-inspiring, often brutal, majesty existed long before humanity ever emerged onto the scene. It is a timeless, primal force, continuously shaping the intricate web of life. Their legacy continues to inform and deepen our understanding of life itself, reminding us of the planet's deep, powerful history.